And so we're working hard to develop this notion of, as the businessmen would know, an enterprise solution to business, to break down the traditional silos of Army-ness. You know, I'm in this silo and I'm in this silo, and we can't talk to each other because it's parallel streams, and parallel lines don't intersect by definition. And we can't have parallel lines and silos. We have to work horizontally and horizontally integrate our business practices. And so we're learning how to do that. And so we're developing new business models and new financial practice capabilities so that we can be better stewards of resources and apply those to doing the right things and then doing them right. You know, that's an important component of how we do it. And then we're also transforming units. Much to the chagrin of many of us, you know, the 15th Sustainment Brigade, to be followed by the 4th Combat Aviation Brigade when they come home from Afghanistan, will both move to Fort Bliss. Those are transformational things. We're activating a Civil Affairs Brigade here with the battalion headquarters. We're actively soliciting. We think the Marines are going to come here to bring a reserve component unmanned aerial squadron here, the Navy sniffing around here, and we're working hard to maybe even bring a composite air squadron here from the U.S. Air Force or Air National Guard, because we know that that joint capability is how we fight, so let's bring them here and train. I'll talk a bit about that in a minute. And then, of course, as you all know, we're going to convert the Army's last Armored Cavalry Regiment, the Great Brave Rifles of the 3rd, to be a Stryker Cavalry Regiment. And although they're all, you know, breaking their sabers over their knees and everything else, we've done it with the 2nd Cavalry to make them a Stryker Cavalry. I fought with them in Baghdad, and they are a very, very capable cavalry organization, fully combined arms, and extraordinarily good at what they do. So it's all going to be okay. For Brave Rifles veterans, I have empathy for them, but it's going to be okay. And as part of the future of the Army, and as we see the future of conflict here for the, you know, at least over the horizon, all of these kinds of modular formations have transformed and soon to transform, are important in our ability to prosecute those operations. Fort Hood remains at the forefront of those transformational operations. And those are the 4 big bends in which we're dealing. Now, again, we couldn't do it without this notion of partnership. And it's partnership with our community that makes the great place great, that and our people. As you've heard me say a million times, and I'll say it to the day I die, there is no greater supportive community of the United States military, and clearly the Army at the forefront of it, than Central Texas. This is a great place to live and serve, and if you have to deploy, it's a great place to deploy from because our families are well taken care of, and it's an even more wonderful place to come back to because we know we walk back into the loving arms of our friends and neighbors here in Central Texas. And we want to continue those things through these programs. I talked about the medical center. We are actively still working hard, Ron and I and others, on getting the construction units here to build the assault landing strip out in the land of West Fort Hood, and therefore turn that into the 2nd runway, because we think that's important for the community. We think it's certainly important for us as a deployment platform. And we'll continue to work that. We're still, although favorably, we think, and I'm going to talk to Congressman Carter about this afternoon, enjoying the support of the FAA on our air corridor and the air bridge to get the unfettered access to the airspace and our ability to exercise out to the west. That's going to open up that air corridor, which will bring more Air Force and other fixed-wing Marine and Navy in here, and will ease our ability to then fly additional commercial flights in and out of here in support of us all. We should all be extraordinarily thankful to the great state of Texas and the Department of Transportation for keeping our initiatives alive and now approving the creation of the 6-lane US 190 from the T.J. Mills Boulevard and the Bernie Beck Gate out to first to W.S. Young and then to 2410. As we have seen out to the west of Copper's Cove, that makes a huge difference, and we're pushing hard for that and other things. Many of you know, Ron and I have been talking about, and we think it's a great idea that Central Texas, in addition to the 1st Cavalry Museum or the 3rd Armored Cavalry Museum, Central Texas needs a museum, and a great one that highlights this wonderful community, how it grew, how it developed, and its beginnings of partnership, albeit a little bit ugly with eminent domain, but as it's expanded from Camp Hood to be Fort Hood to really be the great place, which is all of our communities together. But we think that would be a fitting thing, you know, somewhere in town, and we're working hard with others to make that a cooperative reality. We think that would be a great thing here on behalf of us all to highlight this wonderful place. And then certainly through things like today and our ability to share experiences, to share insights, to trade good ideas, and to assist each other in the long-term development on behalf of the citizens of Central Texas, which includes our community on Fort Hood, our ability to come together and have these kinds of opportunities. So that's a long-winded way to just tell you kind of where we are at Fort Hood, but most importantly, to tell you thank you for who you are, what you do, and we really do love serving here at the great place. Thank you.